All right, so the next project we're going to work on is mounting these van seats in the bus for the kids. These are actually out of a Ford Transit. We found them on Craigslist for super cheap. I forget what we paid, like 60 bucks or something. We have two sets of these, and they're 2-seat benches with the built-in seat belts. They're the narrow ones. These come in a couple different widths depending on which transit they're out of and which row they're from. I think these are from the very rear row. In certain transits, these are 31 inches wide, and there's some other 2-seat benches that are, I think, like 35 or 36 inches wide. I forget exactly, but we got the narrow one, so there's going to be a set on each side of the bus, kind of behind our couches. And the reason why we decided to use these is because we still have a couple of kids that are in booster seats and car seats, and we really wanted to have forward-facing ability for them, because that's how car seats are designed to be used. And we wanted built-in seat belts so everything was really safe. And kind of the cool thing is where we're going to position them in the bus. They're actually going to have better views out the windows than if they were sitting sideways on the couches as we travel. So this will keep all 4 of our kids nice and safe with seat belts and everything while we're traveling, but then also while we are stationary, where we're parked somewhere, you know, it's just additional seating, and they'll be kind of right up next to the couches, so we can fit even a lot more people than just our family. We can have another family over and have plenty of seating for everybody. So it's kind of bonus that way as well. So the biggest thing we had to figure out is how to mount these. These typically in a van, they come with these long mounting rails that are like down in the floor, and they're really big and much longer than they really need to be for the mounting points. And so we decided we could buy those on eBay for like $90 each or something like that, and we would need 4 of them, for 2 for each bench seat. And we decided we could make our own, and they would be a narrower, a smaller profile, but just as strong and sturdy, and they'll be bolted through the floor. So I'm going to have Juan now kind of explain how we're going to make our own mounting brackets now.
All right, so we are designing the mounting system for these seats today. And so when we bought these seats, we paid attention to the way they installed, and the way they install is there's a front. The front of these is hollow, and so it goes in and then clamps down with these clamps in the back here. And so we took a bunch of pictures of the original kind of mounting surfaces that came with it, and then made a bunch of measurements and designed what we thought a decent, strong base for these would look like. And so that's what we did here, and then we went ahead and prototyped one. We cut one out of steel. So this is 3/16 inch steel on the sides and the bottom, and there's 2 holes for mounting it through the bus. So we would mount it with 2 3/16 inch, probably grade 8 bolts with 3/8 inch bolts with the big giant plate like this again at the bottom to hold it in place. And then this bar across the front here is 1/2 inch solid mild steel. So it's a heavy, sturdy thing. And so these fit right into these guys in the back here. So they clamp right in, and they're the exact size, so there isn't kind of any wiggle room. So the front, what we're thinking is the front would be the same design, except these would be brought in a little closer because the front is just a little bit narrower. So anyway, that's the design we have for these. And so now that we've got one and we fit it and we're satisfied with the way it fits, we have a cut list of parts that we're going to go through now in assembly line, start making all the sides and the bases, and cut these pieces. And we should have, I think there's 8 mounts that we're going to need for these. So we're going to go ahead and start building those. All right, so we've got the brackets all painted up. We took these home and just painted them and, you know, sanded them down and everything. So the narrow ones are for the front, and then the wider ones are for the rear. So they turned out pretty good. They're very stout. So we're gonna show you how they work. We've got them kind of mounted up here. We had the kids sit in the seats and see if they're, you know, if they rock or anything, or if they're, but they were totally stable. So anyway, we'll show you how they go on. They're on right now, but we'll show you kind of how the seat goes on when we have to remove it or put it in. But we've just screwed these into this board. This is not how they'll be installed. They'll be installed with 8 3/8 inch grade 8 bolts with big giant washers up underneath, so they can't kind of tear up through the floor or anything. So anyway, we just wanted to see how this would work as far as getting them in and getting them out. So like I'd said earlier, we're gonna put the front in, and it's gonna go into these front legs, and then the back should just kind of go into place and kind of just snap into place. So anyway, that's what we're gonna do now. All right, so we've made these up. So this is what's gonna go up underneath and serve as kind of like a big washer, a big plate, to make sure nothing ever gets pulled through. We were afraid with the wood floor that just having this bolt with just a washer was not gonna be sufficient if there was an upward force, and so we made big giant plates. These are 3/16 inch steel. They should be more than adequate to hold the seats in. So right now Michelle's gonna push them through, and I'm gonna screw them up from the bottom, and we're gonna go ahead and try to mount those pucks on the floor now, and then that should complete the install. We should be able to then put the chair in, and the kids can kind of just start using them now. All right, so we've got the plates finished mounting down here, so you can see we went through our plates through about 1.5 inches of flooring, plywood, and then into another 3/16 inch plate that goes all the way across, and then these are 3/8 inch grade 8 bolts. So we think it should be very strong. So that's what we're going with, and so we're going to do the same thing on the other side.
There.
There you go. Okay.
Those in.
Those are in.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Nope. All right, both sides are installed. They're really secure. We've had the kids come and sit in them and buckle up, and everything looks really good. Obviously, when we travel, we'll have the younger kids' booster seats in here, but yeah, we're really happy with how they fit in here. We're gonna have a little bit of, there'll be some storage space kind of underneath on this side, and even a little bit behind it. And then on this side, there's actually, I don't know, maybe 18 inches or so of space between the back of this and the fridge for storage of some things back here as well. And then in front of these will be the couches. There'll be some leg room and then our couches. So we're really excited with how these turned out. We are going to now remove these so that we can work on the walls and other things, and that these won't be in our way, but we wanted to make sure we knew how these were going to fit before we started kind of moving on to the rest of the build up here. But for now, I think we're going to say that this project is done and move on to the next thing.